Hello, welcome again. So you might remember that I did some mystery shopper exercises a little while ago, looking at real estate agents in St Kilda in Melbourne, Australia, and how they were using or not using ethical persuasion to their advantage. Now I'm about to drop off my influence audit report to them. I'm covering up who it's for. That's not important. We'll make our services available. I'm sure these people will be interested. So what I thought might be interesting to share with you, I've done one of these before, is some of the findings that I bumped into. If you're a real estate agent or in sales, because I specialize in helping people who are sales professionals or business owners, pay attention, right? You can learn a lot from just this video. All right, so let me quickly get to the bits where I cover everything. All right, so I looked at the online profile, as in the website people typically go to here to look for properties, and what was mentioned there. What text did they use there? You know, what were my observations? So it was talking about a penthouse. Now, we all sort of know that that's the top floor, right? So whilst it wasn't specifically pointed out that this is sort of rare and unique, I've marked it as an attempt at scarcity. I don't think it was intentionally sort of used like that. I mean, you would always sort of mention that, but it sort of falls under scarcity. If it's a penthouse, there's obviously, you know, limited number of properties that can be on the top floor. The property had certain views which were fairly unique. So again, that's scarcity. Things were within an easy distance to walk, and so that's also scarcity, right? Other properties can be further away from things you need. Then the agent's photos, you know, was well dressed and had a tie on, right? So that signals authority and knowledge. So that's authority. So you probably never thought about these sorts of things, but this is actually talking to the part of the brain that makes decisions, right? 95% of decisions by the brain are made by the unconscious and automatic part, and these bits of information, they're triggered by that. This is important to that part of the brain. All right, so what was lacking? Reciprocity was not present. Liking wasn't used. Social proof could have been used a lot more to their advantage. The agent had just 4 reviews on that website, as in client reviews, which is, you know, very little. No effort was made to make the communication more believable. All right, consistency was not an attempt was no made in that direction, and scarcity, it was a lack of language that motivates to take action. All right, so looking at the online reviews of this agent, and I actually thought he conducted himself very well, but yeah, 4 reviews, so that's way too little. He had his star rating was 5, right? So 4 people gave him a 5-star rating. Now, whilst you think that's great, it's actually not. It's not ideal. If you want to know why that is, ask me one time. Last review was 7 months ago. That doesn't inspire confidence either. Now, this particular agent had a video in that section that talked about them. That was brilliant. That was really good. I was so happy to see it, right? They had somebody else talk about him. Brilliant, very good. And there was actually a video of a past client. Brilliant, very good. I was so happy to see that. All right, so then if I look at the reviews of the agency itself, right? So not a great amount of reviews, a score of 4.9, which is actually still not ideal. On their own website, they had a decent amount of reviews, around 400 or so. And score rating there was also 4.9, which is not ideal. Now, yes, you can't do anything about this, right? As in, you know, if you get 5-star ratings, 5-star scores from everybody, that's great because you did a good job. But that's not the point. How believable is that information? That's all I'm going to say. Google reviews, they had many more reviews, right? And the same score. Still not ideal, but more reviews still. There's no mention on their own website, though, of their Google reviews, which is odd. All right. Then the About Us page. I'm getting a bit hot here. It's like 38 degrees outside. All right, so they had the mention of many reviews on their website and that 4.9 score that I already mentioned. Then you go down on their website and there's a carousel of reviews, testimonials, right, that are shown off. You know, this person said that, this person said that, this person says that. Only 11 of them were on display. There seemed to be no way to get to these 400 plus reviews. Only 11 were there. That's not good, right? As in, it would make people think, like, why can't I see the rest? Did you really have 400 plus reviews? All right. Failed to establish trustworthy and believability in the text about their office. Had some claims that were unsupported. They did talk about that they were award winning and those awards were displayed. So that's great, right? That's use of authority. So plus points for that. And that it was a very sought after location, right? So that is social proof. All right, so the testimonials of clients were positioned, and we're back. My phone was cooking, and so it shut itself off. So apologies for that. All right, so the testimonials on their website, right, on this welcome page about their business, the testimonials that you could read were positioned below the photos of all the team members, right? So you had to scroll down and down and down and down, and there were the testimonials. Right? I think that's the wrong way around. So if you have to go that far down to get the information that matters, you're missing an opportunity. So I would argue that social proof was largely missed on that page. All right, no sort of humanization and an attempt to liking was used on that page, and unity, the feeling of we-ness, there was no sort of attempt to connect to that. Also, I picked up that they, in their text, they said, we have so many, a number, team members, and then there were all the photos of the team members. They had, let's say 20% less actual photos of team members than they said they had team members. Could be that not everybody has got a photo up there, could be, but you know, if a client was to actually, hang on a second, that doesn't, I think that hurts your trustworthiness. All right, then the open for inspection. So the actual event of me going there and talking with somebody. Okay. Okay, so the agent welcomed the buyer. And so liking was used. Agent was well dressed and polite, so that all goes towards authority and liking. Conversation opportunity existed when the person, as in me, entered the property, but no persuasive elements were present in this conversation other than, you know, hey, how are you, in terms of liking. So no decision triggers were touched on. And yeah, again, I think if you've got information to share that is persuasive, that is important to that part of the brain that actually make decisions, you want to do that before they go and look at your product or service, right? Remember, this stuff goes for any sales professional or business owner. All right, so afterwards, at the end, gave them an opportunity to, you know, relay a bit more information to me. Some logical stuff was shared with me, car park, storage box, you know, those sorts of things. We even, you know, I was asked where I was from, which is nice. And then they shared some market developments of that suburb, which is nowhere near here. So they did that, but they didn't share it about their own suburb. Problem, right? Now, if my data is correct, there's actually a decline in the average price of a home in this area over the last 12 months. And so that's not something to rave about, but there is a concept of future social proof, where if you have limited data, but you can demonstrate a trend, then that can be as powerful as social proof. So again, I haven't looked at the figures in that detail, but it could be that that is a possibility that these people could be using and they're not using it. All right, No reciprocity attempts were made. A lot of liking opportunities were missed, easy ones. Unity, no attempts were made. Social proof, they could have done a lot more with in that open for inspection event. No efforts were made to be experienced as more trustworthy. Consistency, that was just not touched on, as in not brought up with me. And it was lacking the languages, the things you can say that highlight uniqueness and motivates action, which is what you want. You want a buyer to take action. Yeah. So anyway, so that's that one. Hope you found it interesting. If you are a sales professional, I hope what you get from this is that they're pieces of information that really matter. They matter to the part of the brain that makes the decisions, and the average salesperson, or too many salespeople, have very little idea about how to implement this. Some of them have read Dr. Cialdini's book, which is great, should be in all our libraries, but that doesn't get you in the habit of implementing consistently and successfully. So anyway, hope you got something out of this. Stay tuned for more. See ya.